Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Saw discussion video. Today we're going to be talking about what I believe, just my personal subjective opinion, what the biggest mistake that the Saw franchise ever did. And yes, it's in Saw 3. You can probably guess from the title and the thumbnail what I'm going to be talking about here. And although a lot of people might disagree with this, that Saw 3 made some other really big choices about the future of its franchise, namely killing John and Amanda in the same film, I'm going to sit here and proclaim that the biggest issue that the Saw franchise had in moving forward after Saw 3 was the fact that they killed Alison Carey, Dina Meyer's character from Saw 1, Saw 2, and Saw 3. And let me just state that for a franchise that is so good, or has been so good, at bringing back just actors to play whatever roles that needed to be played, for whatever flashbacks that needed to be used to tell whatever story that they were telling between one film to another, to emphasize characters or character relationships from people who were introduced in later films, I'm really surprised they never brought her back. I mean, heck, they brought back Eric Matthews. Donnie Wahlberg ended up playing Eric Matthews just as many times as Dina Meyer ended up playing Alison Carey throughout the entirety of the franchise thus far. But to me, it's not even the fact that she doesn't come back for flashbacks so much as she wasn't there for future stories to be told. Now, I really like Riggs' character in Saw 4. I think he's one of the best protagonists that the series ever had for any individual film. It's probably one of the reasons I like Saw 4 more than a lot of other people. But at the same time, I can't help but feel that Detective Kerry could have been much better in that role. She had a prior relationship with Eric Matthews. She was the one that we knew from the first 3 films obsessed with the idea of taking on Jigsaw and catching him, so much to the point where she couldn't actually have a family of her own. Rigg actually had a wife, he had a family, he had somewhat of an interest in keeping all that stuff together. It might have actually been better to save him for future Saw films while focusing primarily of Saw 4's story on Alison trying to get back Eric Matthews, to whom she might have some feelings and professional responsibility, plus her idea of being super obsessed with everyone else to the point where she wants to save everyone, to the same way they wanted Rigg to be shown throughout Saw 4. So yeah, I really think she could have been the better protagonist there. Plus, it would have been the first time throughout the entire series where we had a main protagonist of the movie be actually female, and we would have known who this person was and how she fit into the grander narrative. Not to say that Rigg didn't, but he didn't fit in as well as she did. Plus, we could have held off on the whole idea of her being an informant for the FBI just a little bit longer. Call me crazy, but I feel like they decided to introduce Perez and Strong a little bit too early in the franchise. Yes, I understand the twist and everything that went along with Saw 4, and they were trying to make us think that things were a little bit bigger than they were and a little bit more complex than they were. But at the same time, I feel like having them introduced in Saw 5 and or Saw 6 would have been better for the overall story. Not to mention, she could have filled the shoes of Detective Fisk, who I still think should come back in future sequels because he's one of the last people who actually didn't die, and we have some kind of connection to. So it would be easy to put him in as an Easter egg or some sort of reference in future sequels. But they could have used the flashbacks during the whole Seth Baxter trap situation as a way of establishing that Carrie has been on this case and chasing Jigsaw from the very beginning, and she has a prior relationship with Detective Hoffman, which would have actually made for some awesome flashbacks. She could have been our main focus detective throughout the entirety of the original run in the franchise. Even if they decided to kill her off in 4 or 5 or even 6, we could have had someone to play off of in the same way that we had John and Amanda and Hoffman to play off on the other side of the spectrum. That's just my thought. I really hope that they would bring her back in some future sequels just to kind of show a little bit more of her character, but I don't think we're ever going to really see that. As it stands right now, I think that this was the biggest mistake that the franchise ever decided to deal us, the fans, because I think we missed out on a lot of awesome story potential and got somewhat of the same story thrust upon other characters that, although I like it, it would have been way more impactful if we had seen it from the eyes of Detective Kerry. So guys, what are your thoughts on this? Tell me in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload, because YouTube is kind of wonky these days and there's evidence to suggest that they're not showing you even if you subscribe any of my videos. So make sure to hit that bell if you want constant notifications on Saw videos, Walking Dead videos, anything else I want to put up on this channel. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It's been real.